That long, but Caleb used to. How long did you work at Woodward Canyon?
From 91 to 99, 8 years.
91 to 99, and then you started Buty in
2000.
In 2000.
Yeah.
So that's a long time, actually.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're. Jesus, I didn't realize that long. Yeah. I guess I've been in business too long.
Yeah, we can stop talking about that. Yeah.
Exactly. Washington State. When I first started coming down here, I think there was like 20, 30 bonded wineries.
Right. Yeah.
Now there's 580 for sure, 506, almost,
Yeah,
no,
state, yeah.
600, 650, almost 700 wineries. Not all of them great, so there's just always a handful. And there's always some guys that, the new guys, even though you've been around 10 years, it takes almost that long to learn how to make, good wine, but you've also worked at Woodward Canyon, so that definitely helped.
It started with a leg up.
It got started with a leg up. So we're tasting the, what year, 2008, Buty. It's a 69% Semillon, 26% Sauvignon Blanc, and 5% Muscadel. Here's the key. This is the Muscadel. That's the classic what they use in
Classic Bordeaux Trio.
Bordeaux Trio.
Yeah.
Tell us about the wine.
Well, used to make a Sem Sauv with Rick Small at Woodward Canyon, the Chardonnay White, fabulous wine that just aged brilliantly. It was a beautiful wine, young, great wine at 10 years old.
Yep.
Had a chance leaving Woodward to taste that wine at 8 or 9 years old. Fantabulous. Our wine's inspired by my working in New Zealand. The wines are not aged in new wood, they're in old wood, and instead of making them just like New Zealand in steel and all that sort of thing, I came home and wanted to make them in the round classic style,
Yep.
which I found was Washington's strong side.
It's not the cool climate like New Zealand
No,
has.
exactly. So don't try to fake a New Zealand wine here.
Don't
And
do it.
It's one thing that making wines overseas has taught me. It's that great wine really does speak of a place, and you can't imitate that great wine because you don't have that place. So come home and make your wine.
Exactly.
And that Chardonnay wine was a great lead into that. Again, we didn't use new wood. We changed the style, brought it into wood, but I wanted the lees aging, the barrel character, the roundness that comes from that, and then the Muscadel brightens the wine up, and it's kind of like getting that third note in the chord, really bright,
Yep.
that high G note on the banjo, just really pretty.
Either that or it's Entwistle doing this with the hood,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's a Townsend.
So,
Sorry, it's Townsend.
So it's just our calling card white, and it's just a really, really beautiful wine.
And the
Really
alcohol,
love it.
I mean, it's 13.8. Some of these whites get up to like 14.2, 14.1, and
Well, the goal in these wines is to keep that alcohol realistic, keep it from being an overly sized part of the wine,
Yep.
right? And we're finding the Washington wine character, we're getting all that unctuous, all that full character at 22, 23 bricks, in that range. We actually picked the Sauvignon Blanc at 21, fully
Okay.
ripe. Skins are gold, it's really beautiful.
where's the
So-
Semillon from?
Semillon's from Old Vines on the Willook Slope. Long time great white wine region in Washington State.
That's where
Up
Lacole
north
used to
of-
get some stuff?
Exactly, yeah. It's about a mile from Freeze Vineyard.
Yeah, okay. Freezes,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a single vineyard one. Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of old great San Michel wines coming out of there still today. But these were
Wow.
old vines. Funny story about the Semillon. We went in and bought into this vineyard when Snoqualmie walked away.
Yeah.
And I called Roy. Tom Thorson from Connolly gave me his number. Roy said to me on the phone, he said, "Caleb, how'd you get my number?" I said, "Well, Tom gave it to me." He said, "You know what? You're the 7th guy to call me this week. I don't understand it, man. I haven't been able to sell this Semillon for much of anything. And now, in 7 days, I got 70 guys crawling all over me. What is going on?"
Someone's figured out what he's got, yeah.
And he thought it was time to rip out the vines because he couldn't even sell it to San Michel. And small wineries descended on it like, bears on honey. And
Small,
it's just killer.
small, handcrafted stuff. The
Focus
big
the wine,
is
converted the wine.
done. Big is done. Anyway,
So,
let's
it was very cool.
move on. Okay, so we've got Connolly.
Before we move on,
Okay, let's go.
I'm going to blow your mind, John, with what we feel. This has been very well critically reviewed. It's our calling card of a white wine. Here's the other wine.
Oh, the online.
And
Okay.
Chris Dowsett's here with us. He's got
Standing
his own.
in the corner.
That's right. My co-winemaker. He's got his own family winery, Dowsett Family Wines. He makes them here with us. 09. Yeah. See that? Yeah.
Much brighter, much more linear, very much like Bordeaux.
So this is the exact same vineyards, exact same rows of vines, growing somewhat similar, a very good vintage. This is made in concrete. This is now flipping from barrels to 2/3 barrels to 1/3 barrels and 2/3 concrete.
Do you know how many people are going back to concrete?
Yeah.
The French, you go to Languedoc, you go to anywhere in the south, they've been using concrete for decades.
Right.
And
Grandpa
some
built the
people,
winery out of concrete, right? Yeah.
Concrete is great. Everybody goes stainless steel, all that.
Concrete, the texture in concrete is radically different than stainless.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted it.
Yeah.
We wanted this concrete non-block. It's 25 barrels worth of wine, and it
This rocks.
It keeps the wine bright and clean
Fresh.
at the same time, fresh and yet big.
It's what the French hit, freshness without being fatigued. Fresh, clean, a pleasure to drink. Wow, this is really good.
Just bottled it last week.
Well, we're going to get some up in Vancouver.
Yeah, it's
Don't
such a
step
pleasure.
too far back because you're going to be
No,
out of the picture.
It's just such a pleasure because it takes that same big powerful wine, keeps it both bright and powerful.
See, well, it takes,
Something special
I
about
had good 2-hour meeting with Rick at Woodward Canyon, and I met with Chris Camarda at Andrew Will. Well, I didn't get it on tape, sorry guys. We swear too much, so you don't want to have that on tape, especially Chris. It takes 20 years to learn how to make great wine. You only get one chance a year. Think about it, right?
it's
Unless you're a
such a
masochist,
slow-
you want to go to New Zealand
Yeah.
or South Africa or Argentina,
Yeah.
and you get one chance a year. And so you working at Woodward, you paid your dues, right? Plus going to New Zealand. And I don't want to say you come out of the get-go because you've got 10 years under your belt, but you had that experience before. It really
But
shows in the
still.
wines.
No, but it was, this is vintage 8. And the first 5 vintages, we worked with different blends, 50-50 Semsov, and then we decided, we want to show off Washington's great Semillon, emphasize the Semillon side of that. Because really no other part of the world is doing that outside of Australia so well. And
You can't sell those wines. Mount Pleasant Semillons,
Really?
they're from, it's such a pity. They're such fabulous wines from Ontario. Yeah.
Right.
Had stuff from the 80s. It's just brilliant. Wow, this
But
will age
Washington
too.
does, and it will.
Yeah.
It will. Yeah, we opened up an O2 just last week with some folks from California. It blew my mind
Wow.
as much as theirs.
So let's try the Chardonnay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just quick dump. So this is Connor Lee Vineyard.
It is. The same
Pretty
vines I
famous.
worked with at Woodward Canyon. Been making this wine now 17, 18 years. And
How long's the bottle been open?
we opened this half bottle about an hour and a half ago.
Okay, so.
Oh wait, and bottled this with the goal very similar to the Semsov. Old wood, barrel aged, nice
Yeah.
and pretty.
This is it just coats the mouth. It's not aggressive. It's not hard. This is great. This is, historically, I'm not a big fan of Washington State Chardonnay because the color selection and they were alcoholic and they were monolithic. They didn't have any delineation to the wines.
Sure.
This is really good. And,
Cool. Again, I don't use a lot of mallow. I really want the focus of, of something from a northern region, like the northern French wines we drink, and really the Loire whites we drink. A lot of that. But
this almost has that nutty marzipan that you get out of Chenin, that earthiness that you get out of Chenin, and some aged Condrieux or Marsans, Roussins.
sure. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's such a different Chardonnay
Yeah, I remember
than I've had in the past.
Cyril Freshier at Rovers. He gave us probably the nicest backhanded compliment in Washington. He said when he tasted our wine, he said, "This doesn't taste like a Washington Chardonnay."
It doesn't. No, it's really good.
So, it was,
Wow.